Good afternoon, all. I have my special guest today, Connor. Connor, how are you?
Doing well, my friend. How about you?
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining me. So, we talk about careers, and you through your social media videos, you caught my eye. I've been following you for a while. You're in real estate now, but you were a plumber.
That's right. Yeah. I did that for about 9 years before getting into real estate.
That's awesome. So, I want to talk about both of them because as we know, college is not for everybody. And the more we talk about trades and communicate and share like all the cool things that can be done and offered and benefits as well, um, hopefully will help families and students out. So rewind the tape whenever that is or was. What was it about plumbing that you liked?
So my parents wanted me. I've got two mechanics in the family. They said, don't be a mechanic. They said, go into plumbing. So I went into plumbing, which was ended up being a good idea. I made good money as a plumber. The job itself wasn't that bad. Um, I was making good money. I had owned like three properties by 25 in one of the most expensive markets in the world. And everything was going well, but I just didn't have a passion for what I was doing. Like I didn't like working with my hands. My dad always tried to get me to come outside and help him like work on cars and stuff like that. And I just hated it. Like I had no passion for it. So, but I found within that, I found real estate investing and I had a passion for that. So that naturally led into real estate for me.
Okay. So what was it about the passion for real estate that sparked your interest?
That's a good question.
Because it probably beat working for a living.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly it was that made me passionate about real estate. I think I was so blue collar that I loved the idea of being the exact opposite of what I was at that time, which was going over into a job where it's like basically you get paid to network and wear nice clothes. And I know I'm wearing a hoodie now. I don't really care for wearing nice clothes now that I'm actually here, but it's just at that time it was just like I just wanted to do something that was like the exact opposite of what I had been doing for so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I could have went the plumbing route of starting a business in the plumbing world and blah blah blah, and I probably would have done well at doing that. But a big problem that we have here in Vancouver, and I think it's like pretty much the same across North America, is there's just no, like, even when you get to the point where you can start hiring people, who do you hire? Like, there's just not enough plumbers. And like, you got to compete with the union companies and all the people offering all these benefits and high wages and blah. And like, how do you compete with that as a brand new company? It's difficult. And then not only that, you have to put all this infrastructure in. You got to buy vans, you got to have a warehouse, you got to have all this debt and overhead, and the
Yeah.
margins are small and scale. Whereas like in real estate, I'm like, I just need to get more clients. That was it. Right.
Yeah. Let's talk about, and I won't stay on the plumbing thing too long, but there's pros and cons to anything, right?
Of
What
course.
would you say now, looking back, for those who maybe want to go into the trades, not necessarily plumbing, but in that construction world? What are some of the pros? What are some of the cons?
Pros, you know what? You're gonna make money right away. You're gonna make a good money right away if you go in, because like I said, like the demand for trades is insanely high. There's no way that you're gonna start a plumbing business as a qualified, experienced plumber and not make great money. Just the demand for you is way too high. Where in the real estate side, it's the exact opposite. There's way too many realtors and not enough deals
Yeah,
for all these realtors to eat off of, right?
yeah. And plus, it takes a toll on your body as you get older down the road, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. And if you're in the cold, it would help at all. So some more about you that now sparking my interest as we talk the whole real estate investment. Um, Talk to me about that. Where are you with that exactly now? Highs, lows, and everything in between.
Of course, yeah. I had I've had four properties, I think, but now I've actually sold everything and I only have the one home that I actually live in, the detached home. I will get back to investing in the future, but for now I'm putting all my money basically into my business. So everything's going back into the business to try to increase my active income. to make the investing side easier later on. Because here in Vancouver, there's no positive cash flow, right? If I go buy something, I'm going to lose $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. And it just doesn't make sense. If I take that $1,500 a month and put it in my business, it'll yield a much higher return. So at this point, I'm just more focused on that.
So wait, so the business now is real estate that you have? Is that what we're talking about?
So selling real estate,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
as a realtor, right?
Uh,
By investing in things like, I built all this stuff just yesterday.
really? You built
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So like put just stuff like that, like to increase the quality of my content. I've got a course I'm launching that's costing me a bunch of money, stuff like that to try to just increase the active income as opposed to the passive side of the
Mm-hmm.
wealth building process, right?
Mm-hmm. What age would you recommend somebody get into real estate investing? I know you're going to say, but
Real estate investing, I would say ASAP if you can, as early as you can, right? The
which
earlier the better.
which is better to buy and flip or buy and rent?
Well, it depends, right? I mean, if you want to make a business out of flipping, there's a lot of people killing it like that, but just understand that flipping is a business, right? Like that's a full-time job. That's not something you're just going to do like once or twice or whatever. This is now, if you want to flip, you need to send out mailers and door knock and cold call. And that's actually why I'm a realtor, because all of the same things that require, like, the same effort that it takes to flip a home is all the same effort that it takes to actually just list and sell a home on the realtor side. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like flipping is really hard in Vancouver. So I'm like, I'm just going to go be a realtor because it's basically the same process. You just make less money per deal, but I'm also not risking any capital in that deal. Right.
True. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then of course on the investing side, it's more passive. It's wealth building. It's not income. It's wealth building. It's just two different things. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But do both, right? Like people will flip and then they take the proceeds of the flip to buy long-term rentals. Flip, buy a long-term rental. Flip, buy a long-term rental, right?
Where do realtors get jammed up? Meaning, what are some of the things that really set them back, if that makes sense, when they're doing their business? Like,
It's just lead gen.
yeah,
Just lead
that's hard
gen,
though.
man. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, like every business is lead gen, right? Every like any struggling business, it's because they're not generating enough leads. That's just what it comes down to, right? Or they're spending way too much money to generate those leads and then not closing enough of them or whatever the case. It always just comes down to leads, right?
Yeah. You know what I remember? I took the real estate course years ago, right? 2-week crash course. But I remember the instructor saying, whether he's right or wrong, he got to the point, 30 years in the business, and he's going like this, and he's telling everybody the business cards, and you have your picture, which is cool, and that symbol or symbols that reflect that you're into this $1 million sales club type of thing. You know what I mean,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All these accolades. He's like, nobody cares.
No,
Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you look like. Nobody cares about all your symbols. Just be a good person, and
100%.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. All right. So I won't hold you too long. Good information. So if you go back to your younger years, what would you say to the younger generation? And I don't say advice, right? Because
Yeah.
words of wisdom.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds cliche. Partying for the most part is definitely a waste of time at a certain point. Um, like, sure, go do it, experience it. Once you've experienced that experience, then it's just repetitive after that, right? So I probably could have stopped doing that at least 2 or 3 years earlier than I did.
Yeah.
Um,
All
you
right.
know, so I feel like that for the most part, like today, I don't drink or smoke or do any of that
Wow.
stuff. I don't have any
Good.
vices. So,
How old are you
um,
now?
29.
Wow, that's
So
great. Did you
yeah,
go to
if I could,
college?
hey,
Did you go to college?
no, I didn't. I just went to
Wow.
the post secondary for being a plumber, right?
Yeah.
Here we have school for that. But yeah, I mean, if I could go back, I would have cut that out a lot earlier. I wouldn't have wasted so much time, and I would have, I wish I started earlier. Essentially, 2 years, 3 years earlier, I would have made a huge difference to where I am right now.
Yeah. Right. Last question about the real estate thing. Is it all about timing?
No, I
No.
don't think so.
Why
No.
not? What do you mean
Because
by
I
that?
mean, there's transactions happening every day, regardless of what the market is. Even if the market crashes, right? People need to sell, right? There's going to be people buying, right? It doesn't matter what's going on. The market's never just going to like freeze and
Right.
nothing happens, right? There's always transactions. At the end of the day, it's just about who you are. It's about being an attractive person, right? It's about attracting the right clients, the right people, the whatever. And you can't be an attractive person unless you're out there doing things or being somebody that other people want to associate with, right?
True.
So it's a self-development journey. It's just becoming the best version of yourself and you'll naturally attract those clients and people, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. That makes sense. So what I'll do is I appreciate your time. I'm going to put your big on TikTok. I'm going to put your TikTok information in the caption, and hopefully you'll have additional fire followers, inquirers, all that good stuff. Hey Connor, I appreciate it.
Of course. My pleasure. Thank you for having me
All right,
on.
thank you. We'll talk soon.
Chat soon. See ya.